afternoon on what is another warm, bright and sunny day. It's Wednesday, the 2nd of July. I'm in the reading Nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And a bag of goodies from Free RPG Day 2025 for me to have a look at. This year it took place on Saturday, June the 21st. Yes, that is Midsummer's Day. So let's find out if there's something else interesting in this bag to look at. So I know I'm going to grab. Yeah, I'm going to grab this. Let's see. There we go. And the reason I'm going to grab this is I really rather enjoyed a previous release from the same publisher. That. So this is Whispers of Chaos. It's set in the Ethereal Expanse. It's published by Ghostfire Gaming. And it's a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition compatible scenario set on the Astral Sea in a setting which is sort of like crosses the Age of Sail and and the Golden Age of Piracy with Spelljammer-like elements, and packages it all up in a rather neat little scenario. Which mixes in piracy, sailing, and basically a little bit of a quest. And it's all really rather very well done and put together. Now, the one thing I didn't like about this, there's no cover, there's no blurb on the back cover, so I don't know what this is about, or I didn't know what this was about until I actually did a proper read through and review. However, it did mean that essentially the next title I pulled out from Ghostfire Gaming, I had high hopes for. Didn't have high hopes for the back cover blurb because, like Whispers of Chaos, In the Beast's Wake doesn't have a back cover blurb, which I find a little bit annoying because I don't know anything about the scenario. Just sort of like doesn't tell me what the scenario is all about. Now I can deduce the setting is, let's say, it's the Grim Hollow, and it looks to be a horror setting because there's also a werewolf involved on the front cover. But okay, so In the Beast's Wake, it's a scenario and introduction to the setting designed for 5 to 6 players playing third level characters, and you can download the characters from the website, from the Ghostfire Gaming website. Excuse me. So we open up and we've got credits and a contents page, and then we've actually got the prologue, Welcome to Grim Hollow. So this really is your introduction to the setting and the scenario, and there's the QR link to the pre-made characters, and Welcome to Grim Hollow. This Grim Hollow adventure is set in the world of Etheris, a place of darkness and terrible evil where the goodness is rare and beautiful. In this dark fantasy setting from Ghostfire Gaming, most heroes aren't paragons of justice, they're just mortals with foibles and flaws. In turn, few villains are avatars of pure evil, hell-bent on destruction. Dark fantasy stories rarely culminate in happy endings, or wholly happy endings. Innocent lives are lost just as frequently as evil ones, and people must sacrifice all they hold dear to achieve their ends. The choices the characters make have no righteous answer, only the lesser of two evils. So this describes, okay, that's the introduction. It describes itself as a Burik adventure, so that's the location. And they will be facing a near mythical terror known only as the Great Beast. So it's In the Beast's Wake is a one-shot dark fantasy adventure for third level characters in which the characters contend with the frightening effects of the Great Beast's passing presence. So here's what you need to play the adventure, which is basically the 5th edition rules. And there's a quick guide on essentially to the graphic layout of the scenario. And here you start the scenario proper, and you've got the artwork from the front. You've got the excerpt taken there from this full piece. So we've got an introduction, In the Beast's Wake, and what's going on in the setting, and where the actual adventure is going to take place, which is the villages of Gruenbach and Niederhalde. An actual adventure background there, adventure summary through parts 1, 2 and 3. So that's the summary for the benefit of the Game Master. You have extra adventure hooks there to get the player characters involved, to get them to the villages of Grunbach and Niederholder, listing the various important NPCs they're going to encounter. And then it leaps straight into the adventure with Desperate Times at Hearthkeeper Church and exploring the village. And I think this is initially, let's see which village this is. Grunbach. Essentially, they're going to be given a quest to go and solve a problem, i.e., go and investigate the activities of this great beast. So they're going to go find some information out and explore nearby chapel and cemetery. And there we actually have a map of Niederhold village, which is where the main action takes place. And there's Gazdra. Is that the great beast? A three-headed, evil-looking goose-like creature. But there's also a werewolf as well. And since this is a dark fantasy setting, you've got a gnoll druid there, looking quite vile. We have a gnoll clearing battle map, and I'll notice about the different parts of the scenario. So we actually start off with Desperate Times. And of course, which call for desperate measures. And result in desperate ends. So here the player characters essentially return to Grunbach, having investigated the gnolls, and that brings the scenario to an end. We've got stat blocks for the gnolls of various types. Including a venomous gnoll and the Gazdra, looking like a three-headed goose with snow white feathers. Yeah, that's still fairly scary. And at the end we have an actual map of the world of Ethris, or at least the continent where this actually is taking place. So I can't necessarily see where this is taking place, but that's by the by. So what you've really got here is a more sort of like a Halloween style Fright Night kind of scenario set in a dark fantasy horror infested world. Looks quite interesting. Not as, I would say, as interesting as this. This has got a few more elements which make it a bit more interesting, I think. But still interesting enough to, I want to give it a proper read through and review in due course. Well, I do, excuse me, do hope you enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you did, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with, typically, with a box containing a role-playing book, supplement, or scenario, or simply, in this case, a bag full of free RPG Day titles, which I will unbag or unbox and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.